Oh! Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson with my co-host, Miss
Tanya Memme.
And just like the first time, we're going to do part two. Let's grab it because we open up every show with this special thing called collagen that does some amazing stuff for a person's body.
Collagen that you drink.
Yes.
You don't just put on your face.
And it tastes so good. So cheers to part two. Yummy, yummy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to talk about this.
Yes.
But I also want to talk about the response we have received so far after doing our very first show.
Episode, yeah.
Yes. And if you don't mind, from the hip, I'm just going to read one of the many emails that have come in.
I can't wait.
And I'm going to read it. So maybe you recognize this name, but his name is Bob Heretz. You ever heard that name before?
Heretz?
Yeah, so Haracz. And Bob, I want to say thank you for this kind note that I did not tell Tanya about.
I was going to say, I know who Bob is.
So I'm just going to read it, okay, from the hip. Okay, Bob sends an email after our very first show. He says, "Hi, Tanya. I just wanted to wish you all the best with your new site and your Live It show with Robert. Like many people, I've been a fan since Sell This House."
Yes, he has been.
He says, "You are an amazing mother, and you've got so much compassion for everyone and everything. You truly are an angel. God bless you and your family, and continued success."
Wow.
Boom.
I mean, thank you.
Drop the mic.
If you have been following me, Bob, since that long, which I know you have, it's been an interesting road, and to get to this point is very exciting for me. And thank you so much for your support. And that email means a lot.
And that says a lot. I mean, there's other ones that have come in, like Bob. And I just want to say, I am so honored to share the stage with you because your fans are loving this.
Oh, thanks, Robert. Thank you.
Yes.
I mean, finally, it's been a while, but yes, we're excited.
Yes, we are excited. You know,
Yes.
the show we talked about, like in the first episode, Live It with Tanya and Robert.
Yes.
And it has no meaning until you associate meaning with the word it. Right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll just say this again. Like Nike's motto is...
That's right. Just do it.
Do it.
Which could be basketball, it could be running, it could be walking, it could be bowling. I mean, you define what the it is, right? I mean, Michael Jackson, his whole thing was like, this is it.
It.
And you define what that is. McDonald's actually has a slogan that goes something like, "I'm loving it."
And one of the good things too, Robert, you and I have been very, very fortunate. You are living your it.
I am.
I have lived my it as well, and I'm still living it. I've always wanted to be in front of the camera and become a TV host, which is what I've done for many, 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 many years. And so I have and am living my it as well.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that because I want to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
And the questions, like you said, okay, you're a TV host.
Yes.
But you peel back the layers of being a TV host. Is it that you like to educate people, that you like to entertain people? Because being a host really is not about you, it's about conveying something to the people who you're hosting for. That makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, and I have shared this with you before. When I was about 11 years old, is this what you were hoping I was going to share?
Actually, I had
You
no
don't know?
idea.
Okay. All right. Well, when I was 11, I remember waking up one day. I grew up in a small town called Wainfleet, Ontario, in Canada, and we're talking a 400-acre sod farm. So there wasn't. Yeah, you've been to Wainfleet, and there was one day when I just woke up and I thought, I want to make a difference. I want to leave some kind of a legacy if I even help one person in their lifetime, that would mean the world to me. If I help thousands of people, that would mean the world to me. And at the time, the only way to really do that was to, I don't know, get into the Miss Canada pageant. I mean, join the pageant network, or it was hard coming from Canada and from a small town. So from there, I ended up winning Miss Canada, and then I ended up on television shooting commercials and then hosting. And hosting for me really is living my it, because I feel like I have a voice and I feel like I can make a difference. And like I said, if I make a difference in one person's life, I think that's pretty cool.
Well, you've done a good job, and your fans and supporters and family and friends, they're all stepping up saying, go Tanya, you're doing an absolutely fabulous job at what you do.
Thank you.
And so I'm just the guy, I'm the assistant here.
No, Robert, you have been a huge support.
I am the assistant.
A huge support in my life. You know that.
Well, you have some good
year.
supporters. I mean, our producer, Andy, is a big supporter of yours. I support you, but I also see you supporting Andy. You know what I mean? It's like everyone is supporting.
So Andy owns
everyone.
Focus TV Studios, which is where our show is shot every day.
Yes.
It's in Hollywood, Beverly Hills.
Yes.
It's an incredible network. Live streaming television. We love it. Focus TV. And check out the magazine too.
Now, today we have an awesome show. But before we get to the meat of the show, because we have two guests today. We have two awesome guests that we're going to be meeting. But before that takes place, you and I are going to have a little conversation.
Okay.
A little bit of conversation. You know how that goes? Well, I don't know the words. But,
no, I'm just going with it.
And I'm not a dork, by the way. I just want to be clear.
I am a proud dork. Okay, I am a super proud dork.
You have dorky moments.
I do.
Yeah, which is cool. I get that.
I like it. I'm proud of it.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to have a really cool, candid conversation, which she has no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I'm sitting here going,
but it's going to be a good conversation, and it's one that we're going to have all the time on this show. And then after that, we will meet our two special guests today. So
one of them, I don't even know who it is.
I know. We have surprises. Yes. So you don't want to miss it, because she's not going to want to miss it. And so we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Let's enjoy. Back to the show. I'm Robert Ferguson with my partner in crime,
Tanya Memme.
and we are having a good time.
Yes, we are.
Now, I said when we come back, we're going to have a candid conversation.
I know. I know nothing about this. Just letting you know. I really don't.
The candid conversation that I want to have is always going to be around the focus and theme of our show. So our show is about three major, I guess, verticals, right? We talk about purpose and passion.
Purpose and passion, so that would be your it. The
Right, so
thing
that's
that
your
you're
it.
most passionate about, what you believe your purpose is to be.
Yes.
And we're going to help you discover that.
Yes, and then we talk a lot about owning your it. Once you figure out what your it is, like owning it, because you help open my eyes to it, and that is taking responsibility for your talents, right, or your gifts, or what your purpose and passion is.
And like I have shared with you before, for me, I feel like that is it's the most difficult phase of the three, is owning your it. Because there are certain decisions that need to be made, certain lifestyle choices that you need to make. Let's say that you are a nurse, which is a wonderful, admirable job, but you want to be a fitness expert. Well, what are the things that you need to do to make that dream come true? It can be very, very difficult and very life-changing and hard, very hard sometimes.
So owning it, because I've heard you say...
Owning it.
One thing that you've said about people, and I've heard Tanya say this, so she could explain it.
Okay.
And that is, own your...
It. Own your it.
You like it when people own their stuff, right?
Well, I do.
If you do something naughty and you get in trouble, own it. Take responsibility for what it is, right?
I'm a huge believer in that. Yeah, I mean, no matter where you live, what your income is, who you are, what your job is, just own it and live it. I mean, really, it's when people are faking this or faking that or trying to be this or trying to be that, instead of just own it.
Own it. It is what it is, right?
Yeah,
as
no
your
matter
dad
how
would
hard
say.
it is,
yeah,
as
own
my dad
it.
would say.
And then the third vertical is living your it. And what I really resonate with when we talk about live your it is when you're able to actually make a living financially doing what you love.
How amazing is that, Robert?
Which most people aren't able to do that. There's a disconnect, right? Most people have a job, and then when they're done with their job to pay all their bills, they go and do what they love.
Yes, and it's not always easy too. All because you're making money doing what you're most passionate about and what your it is. I mean, it can be a pretty rough road sometimes. So it's sticking with it and believing in it. And what was the saying that I recently heard? You have to believe it to see it instead of seeing it to believe it. You know, most people are like, well, I got to see it and then I'll believe it. Mm-hmm. But for me, the truth is in believing it first and then seeing it.
I love that. So here's the part where I want to have a candid conversation. So the candid conversation.
I thought that was it.
No. This is about to get heated here. We need a couple more minutes. Let me tell the producers, camera people, this hold tight because I want to talk about something. And what I want to talk about is what is, in your opinion,
Yes.
the difference between purpose and passion? Because I believe they're two different things. They can be one and the same.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, I'm asking you, for
Okay.
everyone else, what is the difference between your passion and your purpose? Go for it.
All right. So I do think that they are different, although, like you said, I think that there's a little bit of overlapping. So for me, and I'll give you examples. My passion is, I would say, my passion is doing anything that gives me bliss. I use that word a lot. That gives me true bliss. Something that could be my daughter, or just something that makes me happy. Nature, reading an amazing book. I can be very passionate about certain topics, certain beliefs. But
Wow. I guess I wasn't ready for that. That was absolutely pretty good.
I mean, I'm just saying, right?
Because I can't make money taking care of my daughters, but it is a passion of mine.
It's a passion.
Wow.
When you take care of your daughters, or your daughter gives you that hug or says, "I love you, Daddy," or "Good morning, Daddy," I mean, you feel this passion towards that person. You're passionate about being a great dad.
So a person could be passionate about, sex too.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other topic, yeah.
Passion, okay, so I'm actually.
Where does that come from?
Well, I'm thinking passion, right? I'm thinking passion, so what are you passionate about? Okay, so I get that. Some people are passionate about playing golf.
Well, for some people, you're saying passion means that.
Yeah, for them, yeah. There's if I play golf, I am passionate about playing golf.
You're passionate about golf. It doesn't mean you want to pursue it or make money doing it.
Right.
But you're passionate about it.
That is true. Okay. I feel like I'm making some progress here.
No, you're making big progress.
So now let's talk about, so if that's passion, what is purpose?
So to me,
Ooh,
purpose...
this is deep. We're going to get deep for a moment.
All right. Well, so my true purpose, which I really did discover at a very early age, I believe that at an early age, children are still very open and not influenced too much by life and society if you've had, let's just say, a healthy childhood. And even if you haven't, I think purpose comes at a young age where so for me, my purpose, I knew that I wanted to help people, that I've always loved seeing people smile. I was always the jokester in the class, the kid that wanted to make, the most friends. I was the kid that the teacher would put beside the kid that nobody talked to because she knew that I would always talk to that kid. I always tried to make everybody feel welcome and that they themselves have purpose in this world. And, I do a lot of philanthropy work, so I do a lot of volunteer work in Guatemala with my father. And all of those things contribute to my purpose. And
so that is your purpose, is to empower others, to help others, to shine light on others.
But I'm not just saying it. I actually believe that I really do live my life that way.
And I get that.
Yeah.
And I share part of that because as I was talking to Marissa Peer, she said that most people will discover their purpose between the age of 7 and 14.
There you go.
And she asked me, she says, what did you want to be when you were 7, 8, 9, 10? And I said, a football player. I wanted to be a pro football player.
Right.
But then when you peel back the layers, what I really wanted to do was what I do right now. And that is help people and help them in the area that I'm passionate about, which is nutrition and weight loss. Wow, I just discovered that. So I'm helping people with what I'm passionate about. Wow.
And I have to tell you, Robert, no, you really are.
This is real therapy, you guys.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I've seen you speak in front of large crowds, and you are an extremely gifted speaker.
Oh, thank you. I will pay you for that. Thank you.
No, it's true. I feel like that you are living your passion.
I am. I'm living my
Not your passion, your purpose.
Okay,
You're living your purpose.
Well, guess what we have today?
What?
We have one surprise guest.
Okay.
Actually, they're both kind of a surprise, but we're going to take a break, and when we take this break, we're going to go in studio, and we're going to sit down and interview a gentleman who is living his it. I've known him for a little over 8 years, and he definitely has tapped into something where not only is he living his it for himself and his family, meaning he's doing what he loves, and he's able to take care of his family financially, he's also helping other people do exactly what he's doing.
He does help a lot of people.
I mean,
Yes.
that is like amazing. So he's helping other people like live their its.
He really is.
I mean, that's paying it
Which
forward.
is a part of it, though, too. I think that when you're making money doing what you love, it comes from a very deep, very resonating part, I think, within your heart. And so I think that when most people are living their purpose, it does have a lot to do with giving back and helping others and wanting to make a difference. If you can make money doing it, I mean, what a blessing.
Wow. Well, and then
Yeah.
after that, it gets even, I'm going to say it gets better.
It does get better.
The guest that comes after him,
I don't know who that is.
well, it's a surprise for you.
Okay.
And it's, I can just say, let me just say this. It's not hard to look at. Did I say that right?
It's not
Actually,
hard to look
that wouldn't be right. Well, I'm trying to say this without giving it away who the guest is. So it is a woman, and she just happens to be gorgeous and attractive and smart and witty. And you don't know who it is, but it's going to be a surprise.
Okay, well, I can't wait. On the Limit Show with Tanya and Robert. I almost said Robert and Tanya.
I like Robert and Tanya better.
No.
Okay. Well,
Even
it's
though
time.
you end up talking more half the time.
All right, you guys.
Tanya
We're going to take a
and
break, and when
Robert
we
show.
come back, we will be joined on the sofa with the man, the myth, Mr. David Simney. We'll be right back.
Woohoo! Hands up.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paprath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the globe.
Welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Aaron.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessamine Moye.
And we're making history as the first live streaming daily talk show.
This is where all kinds of shit happens.
Monday through Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles, at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show. So Kelly, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alyssa. This is so fun.
I know.
What's up, Rose girls? I'm Jessica Carroll. Today we're gonna have so much fun because we have fitness personality Katie Austin.
Hey,
we're
thanks for
having
having me
Rose
on.
with
Cheers.
Katie Austin.
I love it. It
Cheers.
feels like a Saturday.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. I mean, no big deal, but huge. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Are we so excited right now?
We are so excited.
I mean,
Thank
we
you for
have
having me.
roses, we have perfect lighting, we've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hey, Dr. Aaron here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth, having a conscious conversation in the heart of Hollywood. And I'm honored to have the guest today, who is Christina Pascucci, who is amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's an honor to be here with you.
Aw.
I so appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jenna Barnett with Millennial Mom on Focus TV. And today I have Jennifer Yen here today to chat with me about all things mom related. So you actually started your career as an actress and you were on the very famous TV series Power Rangers, right?
Yes, I used to fight them as my first career.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay Edwina Chia. Ladies and genticles, Tiffany Angulo. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And welcome back to the Limit Show with Tanya Tanya and Robert. Just joking. Anyways, we're so excited to have in studio, in the Focus TV studios in Hollywood, David Semeny. He's a friend of mine and Robert's. He's worked with a ton of celebrities. His career has been so fruitful and incredible. We want to share with you how and why, David, how you got there and what it's like to live your it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the Live It with Robert and Tanya show.
Whatever.
Very excited to be here.
Longer. I'll give you that.
I like that.
I love
Good
what
job,
you do
David.
because it's funny, there's a recurring theme here of find your purpose, find your passion. And that's like my motto. Find your purpose, find your passion.
You do say that a lot, too.
Yes, you do.
I love that, and I love what you're doing. So I'm a big fan already, even though I'm on only show number 2. I'm a huge fan from show number 1, okay? And I already got a contact high from watching the first episode.
Nice.
So,
You did?
yeah. So,
Nice.
can the cannabis man. Yeah, that
Yes.
one.
Calvin Fry.
Yes, that was a
Calvin
great
Fry,
show.
the cannabis guy.
Yeah, so
Very educational, wasn't it?
it was extremely. Yeah, I was excited, and it's good to know that I'm not going to hell for CBD oil.
That is a good thing.
No, you're good, but but yeah. So David could talk about so many things. But I know you work with Lady Gaga. I know you work with Lauryn Hill. You know, so before we get to like the nuts and bolts of the second part of your it, take us back to like that experience. What was that like?
So my first it was music and music business. I just want to work for musicians, but I was in a band and I got a record deal with a guy that produced Fleetwood Mac's Rumors album, a guy named Richard Dashit, signed my band, we toured the country, even opened for Metallica, believe it or not, all right?
And what were you? Did you play the guitar, the bass,
I yelled.
the piano?
I yelled. I don't know if I call that a skill.
You just screamed.
Yeah, I had long hair, it was in braids, I looked like Bo Derek.
Also, you were the hype guy.
Yes.
I want pictures of
Yes.
that.
Nice. You were the Flavor Flav back
I was
then.
the flavor. I didn't have the clock though. Okay, I had a steel drum instead. But
Nice.
And so when my band didn't make it. All right, we sold 7,000 records, so it went lead. You know, which nowadays that would have been a huge accomplishment in today's climate. But it didn't quite make it. So when I didn't make it as a musician, I just found out that hey, you know what? I need to go out there and work for musicians. So I just started sneaking backstage like my life depended on it. And they got so sick of me.
I love how you did that.
They basically said, look, just go away and come back in a couple weeks and we'll give you some work. So that led to a career
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Wow.
Yeah, my first job was with John Tesh, piano player.
Oh,
And a lot
John
of people
Tesh.
don't know that. He wrote the NBA theme, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I don't know if
Wow.
you can do it, you know,
No,
copyright.
I can't do it, but
You know, dun 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 dun
I
dun.
know he's making a lot of money.
That's only 4 bars, so that's
every
good.
day.
living his it.
No, he is really living his it.
Yeah, and so just kind of worked my way up through the music business through my passion and just really my work ethic and all the themes that you talk about here, and ended up working for some incredible people, Lauryn Hill, Lady Gaga, lots of rock bands. I did Ozfest, I did a band called Lifehouse, and it just was an incredible career right up until that point of having children, which we all know about. Changes your
we
it
do.
a lot.
But was that something that you knew did you know that you wanted to get into the music business, or did you just sort of, as doors opened, you walked through it and then one day you're like, you know what, I'm really loving what I'm doing right now?
I wanted to be in music business so bad that my first job at Pier 1 Imports, as I was mopping the floor, I was daydreaming about working at concerts. And we had an earthquake in '94 in Northridge, and I was the guy that had to clean up all that glass stuff at Pier 1 Imports. And I realized, you know what, this is not where I need to be. And so I had my mom drop me off at concerts before I could drive so I could sneak backstage.
So you would sneak backstage. How
yeah.
would you get back there?
Oh, I would do
it's impossible
anything
now.
and everything. Actually, Ice-T at the first Lollapalooza, he came out to sign some autographs, and I used Ice-T as a distraction. So thank you, Ice, if you're watching, for helping me get backstage at my first concert. I met Jane's Addiction and all these acts, 9 Inch Nails, and I got to actually meet them and network. And from there, I learned the power of networking. Getting out there and asking people, who do you know that I should know? And it just led from there. I mean, I believe that people can be successful no matter what it is they're doing if they have the passion.
Now, did you have a passion for music, like as a little kid?
I did growing up. I learned how to play drums. I can still read drum music, but can't really keep a beat.
Nice.
So I didn't make it as a drummer.
Okay, so now fast forward to where we are with kids. So you said the kids are coming to the picture. Obviously, you're married. You are with the love of your life.
And you're traveling at this point. So
Yes.
you're on the road.
Yeah, you can't be traveling that much if you're going to be having kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you what, all the way up until kids, and those of you that have had kids, I'll tell you what, you will only understand this until you have kids. Because if you haven't had kids, it's one thing to love your parents, right? It's one thing to love your spouse. But the love that we have for our children, it's like I will take a bullet in a second. My life switches. Your life switches.
Yeah, it really does.
To become about them. It really isn't about you anymore. And that was a big epiphany that I had. We're on the road with Lady Gaga, and my wife's her personal assistant, and we get on the border of Canada and Mexico, and or Canada and the U.S., and we had the announcement that she was pregnant. They had the pregnancy test in the tour bus, and Gaga called me in. I was trying to get us across the border, and my wife and Gaga were standing there, were in the back lounge of the bus crying. I said, what's going on? Like, we're going to get to the show, I promise. We had a bus driver that had a DUI, and they won't let you into your wonderful home country with any kind of DUI. And
well, it took me 20 years to get my green card, so
that's all.
So touche.
All you had to do was sneak across the border. That's what everybody else does.
Right.
So what we did was we just basically found out that we were pregnant. And from that moment on, my life just shifted. And I realized it's all about this little beautiful human. And everything I was going to do in my life, no matter how great my career was, no matter how much money I was making, my number one priority was going to be my family.
And then you went corporate, so you would have, like, I guess the security, something steady.
Yep, I got into the corporate world, and that was a 7-year, I want to call it a grind, but it was a passion. You know, it was a passion.
And that's when I met this man.
Around that time.
Yeah.
When he was transitioning from the music world to the corporate world.
You know, Robert was on Good Morning America, and that's really where I first met him. I mean, he walks into the office. Next thing I see him doing shots of collagen on Good Morning America. And
That is true. Like, that is true.
And here we are, right, 8 years later, still doing collagen shots. Yeah. And we look the same age, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Actually, we look younger.
We do look younger.
Yeah, collagen back in the day in Times Square.
Absolutely.
You guys have that dewiness on your face now.
Yeah,
I'm 87, so people don't, you know.
I'm 93. 93. And things are going well.
Things are going well. So what I want to ask you, though, is, like, you mentioned a lot about your passion. Do you think that that's sort of the difference between your passion and your purpose? Is your passion is something, I mean, if you have a job that incorporates something that you're passionate about, what a blessing. But your purpose in life, no matter if you're on the road with music or you're in the corporate world, what do you think that your purpose is that sort of you feel and you know do the same? It feels the same no matter what you're doing. Like, ultimately, what is it that you think your purpose is?
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that, because one of the things I just talked about, I have some mentoring clients, and we were talking about what's the purpose of life. Have you ever thought of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I still haven't figured it out.
I have I mean, for me, the purpose of life is to serve others. That's what I believe that all of this is about.
And, you know, for me, the answer was to learn to live happily. And I feel like when we serve others, we can live happily. And when we serve our family and our children and our friends, we can also be happy. But that's a lot of, like, you know, magnanimous talk. But in reality, what it comes down to is we've still got to make a living. And that's, I think, the struggle for a lot of people. You still got to pay the bills. And so this is what continues to get people, as you mentioned in your intro, trading time for money, just going out there and doing what maybe doesn't make them excited, or maybe they're not passionate about it, but their purpose in supporting their family drives them to do that job that maybe they don't want to do. So like I said, being passionate about stuff. I'm passionate about music, but when I flipped into the corporate world, that didn't mean I wasn't passionate about music. In fact, if anything, it made me more passionate about music, because I would want to get home and get in the studio and make music or listen to music. And I can still do that. But in the corporate world, pursuing a dream where in liquid collagen 7-8 years ago was totally untapped. And to see where we're going now, $8 billion market, that was like being in Bill Gates' dorm room. You know what I mean? Like Zuckerberg and I were hanging out, you know, at Harvard kind of thing.
You're right.
And so we're excited with where it's going, but I saw that vision. So my purpose became get really good and be world class in the industry that I chose and help as many people as you can be successful. And that's what's kind of parlayed into where I'm at now.
Right. Which he did that from the corporate space. And now he's in the independent space, helping other people independently create home businesses. Would that be accurate?
Yep, residual income through home-based business right on your cell phone.
And we're all doing it. Like, we all are like believers in this collagen. I was back then. I saw it all happening. You got introduced to it. You love it.
I did about 7 months ago. Yeah, you introduced it to me, and I love it too.
And we
well, you're glowing.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Thank you, David.
Yes.
Well, they say there's 2 reasons why a woman is glowing.
Well, one is because she's pregnant. I'm old. But you'll never know it because
And the other reason would be the college attitude. I totally get it. So David helped these people from the corporate standpoint do very well in home business building, and then you decided to actually do what you had helped other people do, which is amazing because you saw it work. You helped people make it work, and I think you said once when you saw people starting to make more money than you were making, you were like, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to keep helping people, but yet I'm going to leverage my time in a way where I can grow an empire for myself.
Absolutely. As our college and company grew, and the numbers grew, the sales grew, the team grew, as my office got bigger, my free time shrunk. I spent more time away from my family, more time on the road, more time not doing the things that I love to do that I feel like I was put here to do. At the same time, I felt that there's this concept that everybody out there does, and it's trading time for money. When you trade time for money, you're basically saying, my time is worth X. Whatever that X is, however much that X is, whether you're minimum wage or whether you're the CEO, you're still trading time for money. Well, what's our most valuable commodity?
Time.
Time. It's priceless.
Yep.
So, and people talk about time management. You can't manage time. Time manages you. It's like, stop it, time. Don't do that. Nice try. And so when we trade, and then our most valuable business asset are our relationships. So what a perfect marriage when you can have a business that leverages time and relationships, and you do it from your phone.
Nice.
Yeah, you can do it from anywhere.
I had a huge breakthrough, you guys, and it has been the biggest, most important in my life.
I love this. So what I want to know, talking about that too, is when do you know to keep going? Because I know that sometimes when you are pursuing your passion or your purpose, it's not always easy. There's obstacles along the way. When do you know to keep going? When you feel like you need, or you need to sort of turn away?
When your credit cards are maxed out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the short answer. Yeah.
Then turn away. But I know that you've had some obstacles along the way too. I know about a year ago you were saying that you almost, like how did you get through that? This is for the people that know that they're pursuing their passion, their purpose, but yet it's not always a perfect, flower-colored road. It's
15 years in the music business, I would say I was world-class at managing tours of major international stars.
Right.
7-8 years in corporate, 10 years actually in corporate with another direct sales company. I felt like I was world-class in that sales role. Getting into the field, as we say, as a marketer, independent business owner where nobody's telling you where to be, what to do, or anything, a self-starter.
Big transition.
It was a big transition, and a lot of the people that have been doing it for 10 years, and Robert and I, you've had this conversation, about those people who, maybe they change companies, and instantly they're at the top of the plan.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, well, how'd you do that? And it's like, well, yeah, they've been doing it for 10, 15 years. They've got people and relationships. So for me, I kind of just went out there blind and started doing it. But you're right. I got to a place after about 4 or 5 months where I was ready to throw in the towel. I'm thinking at the money that I was making on the commissions, it wasn't enough to support my family. And I was ready to give up. I called the president of the company and, I don't know that I expected her to say anything different than she did. But she just said, just keep going. And, it's one thing to take words like that when people give you that kind of advice, but it's another thing to actually do it and put your heart and soul into it. So I just continued. And, man, the second month, we learned our new system on our cell phones with, the groups and the way that we build the business. We call it ATM. And, man, the business just took off. If you looked on an X and Y axis, double-digit growth every single month. I think we've averaged, 22% growth month over month, and there's no signs of stopping. So it has been magical, and now I get to work with people like you that just literally live their purpose all day long. And when you get all of these great people together in a room like we do once a week, you have a fantastic circle of people that all are the best at what they do.
Yes.
You're the best at what you do.
Thank you.
I mean, when I see those shows, and my wife is a huge fan, she's an interior designer.
Aww.
When I see those shows, and when I see what you do on stage, I just saw you on stage the other day for, I don't know what, it was ultimately about at least 500 or 600 people, easy. And I see you do what you do. It's very clear that A, you're passionate, and B, you know your purpose. You got it figured out, why you were on this planet to help other people. So I think I'm comfortably now at 42 or 82. I'm comfortable in my skin at Zig Ziglar's motto. You can have everything you want in life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want.
I love it.
I love that.
And so for people who want to connect with us, they're invited. We have a website that people can learn more about, what we do and how they could be on this show and how they could potentially meet you. Because we are going to take all this on the road.
Going on the road, baby.
And as we take it on the road, we want you to be one of our keynote speakers.
I would love that.
Because you're living your it, and that's what this is all about. It's about helping people discover it, own it, and
make money doing what you love.
Live it.
That's right, live it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I am so honored to be on your show, and congratulations on all your success. So happy to work with you guys.
Thank you. Well, we're just glad to have you here to share your story with us.
And we would keep you around, but we have a special guest coming in. That's actually it's a surprise guest.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think you saw him in the back.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. This person walked in, and I don't blame you. Okay, I'm out of here.
Okay. So there you go. So thank you, David, for being here. We're going to take a little bit of break, and then when we come back, you will get to see who this special guest is. I know who it is. He's met her, but she hasn't. So you want to see the surprise that is going to take place with Miss Tanya Memme when we come back.
Wow.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. Yes, this is Live It with Tanya and Robert, and I am so excited to introduce someone. They've had a great time when we did the intro before we came back live.
Yes.
And she is a actress, a TV host. She's interviewed some of the biggest stars in the world on the red carpets. She is a fitness phenom. She goes way back to the days of Billy Blanks.
Oh, yeah.
She knows how to tear it up, let me tell you.
And she's one of my best friends.
Yes, and we have her in studio, Kristen
Harold.
Harold.
Woo!
Thanks, guys.
And you guys go back.
We go
way
way
back. We
Like-
go way
like-
back. And Robert and I wanted to surprise you, so surprise! Here I am.
No, you totally did. I have to say, Kristen, you're one of the most supportive human beings in my life.
Oh, thank you.
And we do go way back.
We go way back, way back, way
I
back.
met her in acting class, and then we started to do Billy Blank's Thai Bo together, just down the street from here.
So you guys met what, like
Well,
in the
that's how I
60s
met
or
Robert.
70s?
I don't think that you knew
No, I'm
Robert
just
back
kidding.
then. I met Robert through Billy Blanks
Yeah.
and
You guys
working
met
out
at
all the
Billy
time.
Blanks?
Thai Bo,
Yes.
man.
I didn't
Long
even know
time
that.
We're Thai Bo veterans.
Yes.
No. Okay, the whole thing about Billy Blanks back in the day is whoever got on the stage was a big deal.
That's true.
I never got on the stage.
I got on the stage.
I know you
I
did.
did get on the stage.
I mean, you were a regular on the stage.
was.
Yes.
Those were so much fun, though. In fact, I just interviewed Sugar Ray Leonard a couple months ago.
Nice.
And I said, Sugar.
Sugar.
I said, I haven't seen you since Billy Blank's days. And he goes, man, I miss those days. And I said, I know, they
true.
were so much fun. They were epic days.
They really, really were.
Yeah.
But there's a place called The Beat on Woodman Avenue here in LA.
Right.
She's a Billy Blank's descendant kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Thai Bo, which we go to once in a while.
Yeah. I
And
get out
Billy
there
is
and
back
kick it.
in
Yeah.
Canoga Park now, so I have to get back there.
Have you been
I
since-
have not been.
We
yet.
should do a
we
field
gotta
trip.
go. We all have to go.
Yes.
I have to road trip up and
Yeah.
go with you guys.
So I need to get in shape to go do that workout. Because Billy's going to bring it.
Oh, no, he brings it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're fine, Robert.
You're in pretty good shape.
I will get out there and
I
just
have complete
work it.
confidence in you.
You're doing pretty good there, Roberto.
So,
Oh, where did this Roberto Lorenzo come from?
Well, I'm Italian, and I don't know. Is that where it comes from? He's like, no.
no.
Roberto Lorenzo. I had no idea.
I think there's a part of me where I'm from, part of me is from Colombia.
Oh, really?
Oh, is that where it's from?
Yeah. And a little Brazil and a little Korean. And I'm from Korea too. So I have like a Korean accent with a little Brazilian twist to it, trying to do a little Spanish.
I just wear gold high heel shoes. That's what I do. Okay. I love it.
Well, you know, like, so you've heard us talk with other guests and
Yes.
talk about this show that we're doing called Live It.
I know, and I love it.
And-
I love it, live it.
Because you are living your it.
I am living my it. I'm also figuring out what my next it is going to
Nice.
be, which I am doing. But it took me a while to figure out my it. I think it does take a while. It takes some practice, some transitions, some just ebbs and flows and mistakes and
Which is what I was saying before with the interview with David Semeny, is that, it's not always a clear, perfect path, all because you've discovered your it, you're owning it. And even when you're making money doing your it, I've been a TV host for 20 years, so are you. You're an incredible TV host. So you own your it, but doesn't mean it's a perfect, a perfect path, but it's that thing inside that keeps you going.
Right.
And you just know inside you got to keep going, just like what David said.
Well, and I think it's hard because you see all these people or these gurus, for lack of a better word, Tony Robbins or motivational speakers or whatever they are. I know Tony Robbins does like to consider himself a motivational speaker, but it always seems like when you see these people talk or speak, it should be clear and it should be direct, and it just isn't. Sometimes it's a mess for a while.
Sometimes it's a mess. I always say that in order to really get to where you want to go, you got to take everything out of the closet, make your bedroom like a hurricane hit it, and put everything in piece by piece. And by the time it's all in there, it's lined up perfectly, and it starts to make sense.
I mean, I know for me personally, the past 2 years have been I was hit with something that I wasn't expecting. And it's taken me about 2 years to sort of come through it and now maybe redo my path, figure out what my transition is. And fortunately, I was able to sort of take some time and figure it out. I know not everybody can do that, but it does take time. And I think people just put a lot of pressure on themselves.
Yes,
And one of the things that I get tired of, I would actually like your guys' opinion on this. If you're on LinkedIn or you're on social media or you're on this, everyone's like, work hard, do this, get up, work. It's just like, sometimes you're like, oh my God, stop. Can anyone just take a break and a breather and just, do you guys feel that way sometimes where the pressure is so much?
Well, I mean,
to succeed, and we're all very successful at what we've done. But I don't know, what I'd like to know your opinions on that.
I mean, well, the first thing I think of keeping up with the Joneses. I think a lot of it is like, work hard, don't give up, you can do it, go. I feel like they're pushing on us what they expect of themselves and what they would like to see everyone else doing, which removes the joy of it.
Yeah.
In Ethiopia, they have this saying where they say, when spider webs unite, you can tie up an elephant.
You're very global today, Robert.
Well, yes, I am.
I love it.
But it's all about connecting the dots, right? And that's what I'm hearing you say, is that you're connecting the dots as part of your transition.
Sure.
And once those dots they come together, it's like the spider web, it can tie up that elephant.
Yeah, and I've also shared this with you too. Like, that stresses me out when people put their pressure that they're putting them on themselves on everyone else.
It's so stressful.
Yeah, I have found some of the most incredible, genuine, inspirational moments and thoughts, and one of them happens to be our idea for this TV show. It happens in time when I'm quiet and I stop and I don't look at the phone for even a couple of days. That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Or sleep in, or allow yourself that peace, go for a walk, or and you know that there are times when I just have a big giant cry because I just need to let it all out, and then just let yourself be where you're at and be there.
Yeah.
And then see what happens after. And a lot of times after those moments, I end up getting the most incredible, inspirational. You've even said to me a couple of times, I'll be like, Robert, okay, I think I know the name of the show, or the website, or I don't know. And in place, although you did come up with the name of the show, but I was just giving an example.
I mean, I've been running with this whole it thing for a long time. But it's to paraphrase it, as I shared with you, I had heard a speaker once say that when you're connected with your creator, you can be creative. And it's that quiet time. It's that time you give yourself.
So
like in the shower. I do a lot of thinking in the shower. I don't know if you guys do. I actually bring a notepad into my bathroom and I will step out and jot something down.
That's awesome. I love that.
So she gets it there.
I love that.
I get mine on the step mill.
The step mill.
That's when I have my best time.
I'm too busy rocking out on the step mill to get through that workout.
60 minutes on the step mill.
There's no thinking on the step mill.
That says a lot about a person. So where do you get, if she's in the shower, I'm on the step mill, where do you have your moment?
I think I do when I'm. This is going to sound weird, but when I'm sleeping, I get like messages at night through my dreams and through.
I've heard that. I've tried to manifest that. Not much is happening so far, but
well, I have to say it's during a time when I'm allowing myself proper amounts of sleep. If I'm running around crazy, single mom. But when my ex has Ava and I can allow myself to sleep in for, you know, just give myself that gift, because it is a gift, that's when I'd say that I get my most, you know, insightful moments and meaningful moments.
Yeah. Now you know we're doing these tours and we're doing these online summits.
Yes.
We definitely want you to be part of what we're doing.
I will definitely be a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, because you bring a lot to the table, and we have our own business that we're working together. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to like taking this part of our business to your home state of Ohio. Right?
Ohio,
So-
a Buckeye born and bred, a Buckeye till I'm dead. That's what we do.
Okay, well, hi, Ohio. Ohio people.
We're coming to Ohio. So we're going to
Yeah.
be doing some live events as well.
Yes, live events, and you bring a lot to the table. So it's really just a matter of you saying, okay, I want to fit in this part of what you guys are doing, because the big scope of things, our goal is to help people, is to help
As is
them
my goal, too.
to get to where they most want to be in life.
Right. Yeah. What do you think the hardest part of helping people is? Is it getting them to, for me, you know.
And what do
is
you
it-
think that the hardest
Oh, this is so
part?
interesting. 'Cause I'm watching a host.
She's
like,
an
a
interviewer,
host.
so you're so used
You're
to
a host.
interviewing. And I'm like, well, what? No, we're
Okay. What do
interviewing
you
you.
think?
You just
No, that was a great question. All right, so go ahead, finish up.
Yeah, because you both come from. I'm a personal trainer. I interview. I do. But one of the things that I have always done in my life consistently is get up and work out. So first thing I do in the morning, I really can't think unless I've done it. I don't care if it's. I bought a spin bike just so I have it in my house so I can get 30 minutes in if I don't have time and if I'm busy. So for me, the hardest thing has been to just sometimes get people to move and understand how important it is to move. I'm dealing with this with my mother right now. My mother has suddenly got sick in the past year, and trying to get her to move.
So ask the
well,
question
that
again.
is a question you can answer.
No. So I want you to ask the question again. Let's start with Tanya first.
Okay.
No, you're the health fitness expert.
No, but the question wasn't really just about fitness.
No, it's just about what is the hardest thing that you think to motivate people or to get people to go to their it, whatever their it is. What prevents them? What?
Gosh, the
that's a good
hard.
one.
I know.
It's a hard question.
I do have an
know.
answer, by the way.
Okay.
Of course you do. Roberto, Lorenzo.
Do you want to take it?
Well, we can start with you, and then I'll follow up.
Or she can meditate on it a little bit.
Hey, you want to do that? You want to hear
Well,
my
no,
answer?
yeah. Let's hear your answer.
Okay, so go ahead and ask the question.
Marinate. You can marinate.
Ask the
That's what I do,
question
not
one more
meditate.
time. Come on, here we go.
Robert,
Yes.
in your experience, what is the hardest thing to get people to live their it?
In my experience, because I'm working with people primarily in weight loss, right? Sometimes business, and weight loss can be tough, right? So, and they say they want it, right? And that's a big part of living their it, is winning that part of life.
Of wanting it.
Yes.
Right.
So the hardest part for me is not controlling them, because it's wanting to control their decisions that will drive most people crazy. And as a trainer or a nutrition coach, that is something that's really difficult for coaches, because
Right.
they feel like it's their fault when that person's not successful. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And you see the same thing with people when you have kids. It's like you want them to go left because you know that it'll do so much for them, but they may choose to go right.
I actually don't feel guilty when people don't reach their goals, because I feel as though, and maybe this is a little bit of tough love, I feel as though if I've done my part, there must be something there that they didn't do maybe properly, or I don't know. I've never felt that guilt, so that's interesting.
Because you're not wanting to control other people.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, has anyone ever said you're a control freak?
No.
Okay, well there you go.
No, I wouldn't say that you're in a wonderful way.
Yeah.
She's not.
I'm
We
not-
have friends that are.
Yes, we do.
You are not one
Yes,
of them.
no.
And so I think but then on their side.
So you would say you're a control freak a little bit.
Oh no. Actually,
no.
I'm not. That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I literally, if I was coaching you and we're doing nutrition, and you came in and you didn't journal, I would throw my feet up on the table and say, "Hey, so did you see American Idol?" Because what's the point if you're not going to do your work?
Yeah.
As you would
that's
say,
really what you're saying,
That's
though,
what I'm
right?
if you're not
Yeah.
going to own it yourself,
Well, the
then
owning,
don't
I told you, is the hardest
Don't
part.
expect me to
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I get it.
So you got to own your side. I'm going to own my
I
side.
agree.
So it's getting people to own
I
it.
think you guys talked about
That's what you're
this.
saying.
I would say I think that's the answer.
It is. It's all about taking responsibility
Yes.
for your actions.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a relationship or like if you have a fight with your partner or a friend, where did I go wrong in this part? What could I have done better? Not that you're taking
Well, I think
full
a
blame,
lot
but
of
I think
people-
that you
Yeah.
look inside to see what can I do better.
I think one of the hardest things to do in life too is to own, through and through who you are, where you're at, your strengths, your weaknesses, just to admit that you made a mistake.
Yeah.
To say sorry, to say I messed up, to really write down the truth on that journal. I mean,
To own it.
that's all owning
Yep.
it. And so I think that, I'd have to.
So we're owning it, we're living it.
Yeah, we're trying anyway.
But
We try.
And,
I mean-
and it's difficult. So here's like the second part of my answer to you is that when you know something, right? And then here's the action of doing that something. The bigger the gap between what you know and do, the worse you feel about yourself.
The bigger the gap between what you know and do,
the lower your
So the
self-worth.
bigger the gap between knowing and taking action.
Yes, and doing.
Okay.
When you bridge that gap, when you actually know something and you do it, you feel so powerful on the inside.
That is true.
So powerful.
It's taken me 6 months to take action on some things, and
Yeah.
once I'm
Right.
done, I'm like,
And when you bridge that gap, there's a inner lift that shine. It's like a light that comes out on a person. And when people don't feel that good, is when they know to do something but they don't do it.
And that could be even not being truthful with yourself about something.
Exactly.
It could mean so many things.
It could mean
So
yes.
let's say I told.
Good job, Tanya.
Right?
Yeah, you were
But
right
let's say
on.
that but I mean, even as far as like telling the truth or being, let's say that you told a little lie or whatever. Like I'm trying to work with my daughter who's 6 about being truthful and why that's important and how to be truthful.
yeah, you're probably still telling her Santa is around.
Of course I'm telling her
Right.
Santa's around.
Because Santa is a spirit.
No way. I am.
Santa is
she's gonna
always
believe in
there.
Santa till she's 25.
I still believe in Santa.
So do
it's okay.
I.
Okay, so I would say that our time with you today, the thing that's resonating with me,
Yes.
and I hope is resonating with the people out there,
I hope so
is
too.
that owning it is a big part of achieving the things that we want in life.
Yes.
Oh, huge.
Yes.
That's
huge.
key.
And
Yeah.
that it's okay to take time and not feel pressure. This is just the one thing that has been bothering me so much is the pressure that I feel like people feel. I've felt it. And I felt guilty for the pressure that, do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, no, I get it.
Especially with social media, it can make you crazy.
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 Especially our generation we didn't really grow up with it. I mean,
No.
it's all sort of
Cray-cray.
new for us. Cray. So what would you say are sort of a couple like tidbits of, wise words of wisdom on how you can deal with that for people that are going through the same thing or went through the same thing that you're feeling
I
or
would just say
sensing?
take your time. Take your time and for me, I take an hour to myself every single morning to work out and do my thing, and that makes me feel fresh for the day. So take that time for you.
That's because you don't have kids. No, just joking.
True. That is true. I don't have kids. But even you managed to take some time for you
Yeah.
at some point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so important for everyone. Robert, you have kids. You take some time for you. To me, that's the key. Take some time for you. Really think about things. Don't feel pressure from the outside.
And just be.
And just be sometimes. Just be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And don't let the pressure that you will experience cause you to fold.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's stopped a lot of people.
And at the end of the day, there's always wine.
There's always wine.
Well, there you go, everyone. If you don't have collagen, you can
goodness.
pick up a bottle of wine.
We've never done that. No.
So I want to say thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Now, these guys are going to continue to have a reunion, and then we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap this baby up. Okay, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
And have best friends like Tanya.
Yes.
Aww.
Welcome back to
I'm
Live
still
It
dancing.
with Tanya and Robert. What an amazing show.
It was great, wasn't it?
Great show.
Thank
Got
you
to
for
meet
bringing
your
on
friend,
Kristen.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, she was fun. She was awesome.
I know. What a
And
nice
David was
surprise.
great.
David's great too.
Yes.
He's rocking it. They're both very good friends of both of ours.
And what's cool is how everyone totally gets the it factor.
Yes.
They get what we're talking about. It's not just a show that's kind of so loose that, yeah, you're entertained, but you literally can see how each one of the people we bring on this couch can contribute to helping everyone not only discover their it, own their it, but live their it.
Which is why we decided to do this show.
Yes.
Because we wanted to also help people out there live their it, own their it, and discover it.
Yes, and just run with it.
And just run with it.
I mean, run with it. Don't just talk about it. As the saying goes, be about it. Now, did you like my quote today? When spider webs unite, they can tie up an elephant.
I did love your quote, and I love that Kristen pointed out that you were very global on today's show.
I was global today.
You bring in all kinds of concepts. But let's talk about our release for the Live It Summit. April 7th.
So our very first event is going to take place online.
Yes.
So that means you can be anywhere in the world. We have 20 of the most dynamic individuals who have come to work with us to put together a program that will make it possible for anyone, right? Anyone to discover their it, own their it, and live their it. Basically, make money doing what you love.
But you got to do the work. You
Yes.
got to do the work. And that's the hardest part, like we discovered on today's show, again, is owning your it, which I think is probably the hardest part.
Yes.
You got to do the work, walk through those doors that are sometimes really hard to push open. But, you know, I know that I've done a little bit of that in the last couple of years, and I'm sure you've done that in some aspects of your life to get to where you are.
Well, you know, nothing's really new, right? It's all kind of been done, right? It's all kind of been said. And it reminds me of a quote by H.L. Hunt. He was one of the first billionaires in America. And he said, when he was interviewed by Johnny Carson, he was talking about like success. And Johnny Carson goes, so how do you define success? What's the secret? He says, there's 3 things, Johnny. Right? There's 3 things. Number 1, you gotta know what you want. And he said 50% of the people out there will never figure that out. Isn't that shocking?
Most people don't
to know what
they
you want. Because it ties into the whole it thing that we're talking about.
It does.
Like, what do you want?
Well, that's discovering your it.
Right.
Right? It's
It's
discovering
like-
it and your
it's-
passion and your
It's
purpose.
a process. Like, okay,
Yeah.
what do I want? I don't know what I want. I want to be happy. It's like, it's always vague. And then he says, once you figure out what you want, then you have to ask yourself, part 2, are you willing to pay the price?
And that's owning it.
Yeah. There's
Are
an
you willing
exchange.
to pay that there is.
And then, you know what the third part he said to Johnny? He said, do the work.
I'm big on doing the work.
Do the work. You know what you want. You accept what you got to do to get what you want. Now go do the work.
I love that you know so much about these amazing life-altering quotes. For me, I know the quotes from like The Lion King, or Peter Rabbit, or Coco. The newest one is Ferdinand.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, you are. I had to throw that in.
Well, you
there.
know, we both have quotes.
We do.
Because I didn't know what Sugar Bear would talk about. I have no idea what Captain Crunch would say if he was here. Or the guy that's on the Fruit Loops. I have no idea.
I mean, Ava walks around the house lately going, ha 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 ha. Who's that? Woody Woodpecker.
I was about to say Daffy Duck.
Okay, you are so not in the know.
You know, I didn't even get to read as a kid.
What?
It's a long story. Maybe we'll talk about that on the next episode.
We're
of
so
this
going to
show.
have to go. We're going to have to revisit that topic.
Yes, we will.
Wow. Okay,
Yes,
I learned
because-
something new about Robert Lorenzo Fergusano.
But, all right, Ferguson. So we had a great show, you guys. I'm excited and delighted to be here. And I can't wait for our next show because it's only going to get better.
It is.
So you want to take us home?
All right, you guys. So the Live It Show with Tanya and Robert. Make sure that you tune in for next week's episode and go out there and live your it.
Love it. Good job. Good job. Good show. Good show.